Well, a very warm welcome to you from the Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi for this huge World Cup qualifying playoff first leg between these West African rivals, Ghana and Nigeria, meeting this evening. A sellout crowd here, and there is some atmosphere. This stadium has been filling up from a long time ahead of kick-off, and the anticipation has been building here in Kumasi really over the last few days, with the fans gathering at the stadium to greet the Ghanaian players when they've come to train here. They, of course, are all getting behind the Black Stars in their bid to make it to the World Cup at the end of this year in Qatar. Ghana and Nigeria. Only one of them will be there in the draw in Doha in a week's time. Has, of course, been so much friendly banter coming into this game. Talk of the Jollof Derby. Which of these two countries makes the best version of the legendary West African rice dish? It's always a talking point when it comes to Ghana and Nigeria. So much more as well added into the mix of the rivalry between these great nations in this part of Africa. These great footballing nations as well, of course. Ghana and Nigeria have enjoyed great success at points during their history. The Ghanaians, four-time winners of the Cup of Nations, remember, quarter-finalists at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. The Nigerians, three-time winners of the Cup of Nations, most recently in South Africa in 2013, and they've got a very good record at getting to the World Cup in recent editions. Since they made it to USA 94, they've missed just one edition since then. That was the 2006 tournament in Germany. But only one of Ghana and Nigeria will be there then. This is the latest instalment of our cracking day of World Cup playoff action on the African continent. The Democratic Republic of Congo playing Morocco to kick things off earlier in the day. We've had Cameroon playing Algeria in Douala, just finishing a short while ago. Mali up against Tunisia, and a repeat of the recent AFCON final with Egypt facing Senegal. Will Egypt gain revenge for their defeat to the Lions of Teranga in that dramatic AFCON final in Yaoundé at the beginning of last month? Seems like a much longer time ago, but it is not long since the end of the Cup of Nations. It was a disappointing Cup of Nations for these two teams, of course. Ghana bowing out in the group stage, humbled by the minnows of the Comoros as they were sent packing at the first hurdle. The Nigerians had a terrific start to the AFCON. They were the only team to win all three group games, and yet they were bundled out in the first knockout round by Tunisia. Maybe more hope than expectation then for these two teams and their supporters this evening. The players getting ready to make their way out here. So it's going to be a very warm welcome indeed for both sets of players. A sellout crowd here. They're packed into this stadium, and it has to be said, it looks like a lot more than the official capacity of 40,000 who are inside the stadium. When you see the pictures there around the stands here at the Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi. Ghana's second largest city, the venue for tonight's first leg. And remember, whatever happens this evening, there will be a second leg on Tuesday evening in Abuja. That will be the decider as these two teams look to secure a place in the draw next Friday in Doha for the 2022 World Cup. Ghana made it here by topping Group G in the second round of qualifying for the World Cup here in the African zone. It was a very close run thing indeed. They edged out South Africa only on goals scored, having scored one more than Bafana, and that was after a controversial penalty by Andre Ayew gave them a victory against the South Africans in Cape Coast in their last game. Nigeria were more comfortable. They were clear at the top of their group before the final game. They eased through, topping their section ahead of Cape Verde, a group that also contained Liberia and the Central African Republic, a group that they were always expected to come through, but now they've got to get the job done here against the Black Stars. Teams are in the tunnel, and they'll be out any second now here in Kumasi. Out come the teams then. A sellout crowd here in Kumasi greets Ghana and Nigeria, these historic West African rivals going head to head in this decisive playoff tie. Only one of them will make it to the World Cup at the end of this year in Qatar. There is a deafening noise here at the stadium tonight. A sellout crowd and then some. And Ghana looking to make the most of home advantage. Well, before the action gets underway, we'll of course have the national anthems. Well, the Nigerian anthem taking a bit longer than expected to get going, and drowned out by the Ghanaian crowd anyway. But now it's time for the Ghanaian national anthem. Well, a rousing version of the Ghanaian anthem here in Kumasi this evening. And certainly these Ghanaian players fully aware of the meaning of this game tonight. This great rivalry between these nations. The latest instalment here tonight. This is the Ghana starting lineup. Otto Addo now the man in charge of the Black Stars following their disastrous campaign at the Cup of Nations under Milovan Rajvac. 5 changes to the team compared to the side that played in the last AFCON game. Andre Ayew is suspended after his red card in that match. He scored 3 times in the group phase. Dennis Odoi comes in for his first appearance, the former Belgian international, playing at right back instead of Andy Yiadom. Among the players not fit this evening, Kamaldeen Sulemana is unavailable. Jordan Ayew leads the line. There is a start from Mohamed Kudus of Ajax as well. And the captain of the Ghanaian team, Thomas Partey of Arsenal. Redouane Gied of Morocco is the referee for this evening's game. His assistants from Morocco as well. And there with the 2 captains, Partey of Ghana and William Troost Ekong, the Dutch-born skipper of Nigeria. The video assistant referees for this evening's game are Dutch as well. We have VAR now for the final round of CAF World Cup qualifying. And the Nigerian team, Augustine Iguavon, who remains in charge after leading the Super Eagles to the last 16 at the AFCON. He rings the changes from the team that was knocked out by Tunisia in the last 16 of the Cup of Nations. Francis Uzo starts in goal because Maduka Okoye has had to pull out of the squad here. There's a start at the back for Leon Balogun alongside William Troost Ekong. Bonki Innocent comes into the midfield because the influential Wilfred Ndidi is injured, and Victor Osimhen plays up front, the prolific Napoli striker who missed the Cup of Nations due to injury, and now he makes a very welcome return indeed for the visitors this evening. Deafening noise around the stadium in Kumasi. And we come to kick-off time, 7:30 in the evening here in Kumasi. And we're underway, the 50th instalment of the rivalry between these nations, Ghana and Nigeria, for a place in the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. It will not be decided this evening, of course. The second leg to come in Abuja next Tuesday. And Nigeria, the key for them this evening is to make sure they leave this very heated atmosphere indeed here in Kumasi tonight with a favourable enough result heading into that second leg. The Nigerian team who were at the last World Cup in Russia. The Ghanaians missed out, of course. Only one of them will be in Qatar. Fascinating to see how these 2 teams get on this evening. Of course, Ghana had such a disappointing campaign at the Cup of Nations. The Black Stars ringing the changes since then, and just listen to the crowd here. Absolutely deafening noise, this sellout crowd, as Ghana win the first corner of the evening. And everybody inside this 40,000 capacity stadium on their feet. It's going to be like this all night long for the Nigerians. They're going to have to come through it. It's a weakened Ghanaian team, but with this kind of backing, they may well feel anything is possible tonight. Let's see what they can do from this first corner of the game, all the way to the edge of the box. Given away. There's going to be a lot of tension in the Ghanaian ranks as well. Desperate not to disappoint this capacity crowd tonight. Moses Simon. Everybody is really pumped up for this game. It's a mixture of so many things, of course. The Black Stars' poor display at the Cup of Nations, part of it under Milovan Rajvac. Now with Otto Addo in charge, they want to get back to the World Cup. was not a convincing campaign from them in the group phase at the tail end of last year. They managed to finish top of their section, just ahead of South Africa. Group also containing Ethiopia and Zimbabwe. Here's Zaidu Sanusi for Nigeria, bursting forward from left back. Samuel Chukwueze in support. Chukwueze with the step over, watched all the way by Dennis Odoi. Brings great experience to that Ghanaian defence. Nicely done by Mohamed Kudus, and again the fans really enjoying that. Every single touch from a Ghanaian player at the moment being met with deafening roars here. Here they come with Mensah. Gideon Mensah, the left back. Ball lifted over the top. It's not quite kept in play. Felix Afena-Gyan, one to look out for this evening, the young AS Roma striker. Getting his chance to impress in the Ghanaian attack. Andre Ayew's absence you'd expect to be felt by the home team. Andre Ayew, I understand, is here in Kumasi for the occasion. I think anybody who is anybody in Ghana tonight is here in the ground. Ball watched all the way by William Troost-Ekong. Afena-Gyan. Infield to Thomas Partey. Now to Dennis Odoi. Well, Sanusi went down, the referee allowing play to continue into the middle by Odoi. Hacked away by Balogun. Strong start to the game this from the home team. Kudus is lost out there. Nigeria come away with the ball again. Chukwueze starting on the left flank. Moses Simon on the other side. Bonke Innocent, a lot of eyes on him tonight, the number 20 in the Nigerian midfield, with Wilfred Ndidi absent and likely to be greatly missed by this Super Eagles team. Foul on Aribo. And a free kick sent towards goal. Luckily not troubling Joe Wollacott too much. Just had him concerned for a second, I think. Jordan Ayew dropping deep. Daniel Amarte, Leicester City defender. Of course, a number of English Premier League based players on display this evening. Augustine Iguavon in charge of Nigeria. Was not meant to be the case. Named as the interim manager to cover the AFCON after Gernot Rohr was sacked at the tail end of last year, but the plan was that José Peseiro, the Portuguese coach, would replace him in time for this, but they have kept faith in Iguavon, the former Nigeria defender. Performances at the AFCON encouraging enough in the eyes of the Nigerian Football Federation, despite the disappointment of their exit in the last 16. Victor Osimhen with the mask on his face. Remember, he missed the Cup of Nations after having surgery on facial fractures. Osimhen into the challenge. Gideon Mensah rides the tackle, gets the cross in. Away by Sanusi. Ghana starting at a very high tempo. Has to be said that they were not on top form in the group stage. They managed to grind out enough results to win the group, but it's really very entertaining stuff from the Ghanaian team. It's been a turbulent period in terms of changing managers. Charles C.K. O'Connor was sacked in September. Milo van Rijvaarts was reappointed as Ghana coach, only to be fired after the AFCON. Free kick given by the referee. Foul by the Nigerians. William Trustekong. And then Joe Aribo going into the challenges in the centre circle. Joe Aribo has been outstanding for Rangers in the Scottish Premiership. One of a handful of players in the Nigerian squad born in the United Kingdom. Now there's a problem with the ball here. Daniel Amarte just telling the Moroccan referee, looks like we have a flat ball. Gonna need a new one, I think. Now then, Isahaku looking to win the corner. Well, you can say what you like about the Ghanaian performances in the group phase of this qualifying campaign. They managed to grind out the results to get through, but it's also worth pointing out, of course, that the limitations on capacity at matches in Ghana, it was the case across the continent, remember, because of the pandemic. They've been lifted now. But only very limited numbers of spectators were allowed into the Ghana games in the group phase, just a couple of thousand at times. The games played in Cape Coast, and the initial understanding was that this game would be played in Cape Coast as well, but in the end it's been moved here to the country's second city, to this fantastic bowl of a stadium in Kumasi. Now then, the Ghanaian fans appealing for a foul on Felix Afena-Gyan, but the referee saying no. Could be a stormy encounter on the pitch tonight, and stormy conditions forecast in terms of the weather as well. Thundery showers. It's fairly pleasant. Temperatures in the low 20s. Perfect, really, for football this evening. Moses Simon battling to keep possession. He's done well. Osimhen will not quite keep that ball in play. Alexander Djikou, French-born defender, long ball forwards. Collected by Aribo. He's got more of a licence to get forward, I think, than Bonki Innocent in the centre of that Nigerian midfield. Aribo challenged strongly by Idrisu Baba. Might be a bit frantic this evening. There is a bit of an issue here, the ball having to be put out of play to allow for treatment. Let's see again what happened. This was the incident. Samuel Chukwueze, the player involved. Just 22 years old, the Villarreal winger. Everybody on the field this evening, applying their trade at club level in Europe. Here is Amarte of Leicester City. Might have been coming up against his Leicester teammate Wilfred Ndidi this evening, but Ndidi sidelined. Kelechi Iheanacho, of course, is on the field to add to the Leicester connection. Ayew. Jordan Ayew going back the way. Mensah with the cross. Gideon Mensah playing at left back this evening in the absence of Baba Rahman. There are players, key players missing in both squads this evening, that's for sure. Baba Rahman sidelined, and Mensah, who's currently playing his club football in France, starting in the left-back position. Sanusi, forward by Uzoho, who himself probably wouldn't be starting in goal tonight for Nigeria, where Maduka Okoye fit and available. Dennis Odoi, who's been penalised there, is another one who's come into the Ghana team this evening. Certainly a late developer in terms of breaking into the Ghana squad, at the age of 33. Away by Jiku. Nicely done by Zaidu Sanusi. Finds Moses Simon, who's now picked up that position on the left wing that expected him to be in tonight. He's given the ball away there, though. Ghana will look to come forward again. Isahaku, brilliant challenge, excellent defensive covering by Leon Balogun. Ball over the top, nearly catching out the Nigerian defence. Amarte. Well, the two coaches nervously watching on from their technical areas. In the case of Augustine Iguavon, he's not even in his technical area, practically on the pitch. 50th meeting of these nations, as Ghana get themselves the free kick. Complaint by Ola Aina. Aina clearly late into the challenge on Jordan Ayew. Jordan Ayew, the younger brother of Andre. Down there on the Ghanaian bench. They're watching on. Ghana have the free kick then. Will there be an early breakthrough for the Black Stars? Plenty of white shirts forward to attack this ball, but it was badly overhit, the delivery. Jordan Ayew with an apologetic hand raised. a key leader in this Ghanaian squad, of course. Vastly experienced player, part of that older generation. He came off the bench in the 2015 Cup of Nations final against the Ivory Coast. But one thing Jordan Ayew is not is a prolific goal scorer. Just 2 Premier League goals since the start of last season in 58 games for him. Away by Ola Aina, came off Ayew by the looks of it. Jordan Ayew at Crystal Palace. French-born player, of course, son of the great Abidi Pelé. And one of the survivors of what has been a very good Ghanaian generation. Those 3 straight World Cup appearances. Great run in 2010. They were at the World Cup in 2006 as well. 2014 they were disappointing, and they weren't there at all in 2018. They were a very disappointing 3rd in their group in that qualifying campaign, behind not just Egypt but Uganda as well. At least they've made it to the final playoffs this time. Early ball played forward here. Afena Gyan. Strong play from the young striker. Shot blocked by Trustekong. And Nigeria will look to come forward again. Osimhen. The Napoli man is the target. Incredibly powerful. Bustling centre forward. Looking for the free kick there, the Napoli man. The referee ignoring the appeals again. He's going to have to show a strong personality this evening, the man in the middle. Helped by VAR if necessary. It's the first round of CAF World Cup qualifying in which VAR has been in place. Here in Kumasi tonight and in Abuja for the second leg. "20 minutes into the Jollof Derby. So much talk ahead of the game. Tongue-in-cheek, really, in that respect, but so much riding on this match for these nations. Ghana have started with all the right intentions, but without managing to trouble Francis Uzoho in the Nigerian goal. Offside flag up against Osimhen. Victor Osimhen certainly missed at the Cup of Nations. He's a key player in the group phase in qualifying with 4 goals for the Super Eagles under Gernot Rohr. Powerful running by Sanusi. Covering was Baba, but Sanusi gets the cross into the back post. Osimhen will look to keep it alive here. Just one Nigerian player to aim at in the middle. Kelechi Iheanacho couldn't get on the end of the cross, but promising from Nigeria. The initial ball, more so. Osimhen's ball in, headed away by Daniel Amarte. Joe Wollacott, the first choice goalkeeper for Ghana these days, despite playing his club football in the 4th tier in England. Here come Ghana again on the break. Jordan Ayew on that left flank. Powering forward, Trustekong coming across to cover. Felix Afena Gyan in the middle. Ayew's ball in, collected by Uzoho. Well, it's good running from Jordan Ayew. Unable to pick out a teammate, though, in the penalty box. Ghana 0, Nigeria 0. Midway through the first half here in Kumasi. According to the seedings, when this draw was made, Nigeria, the higher ranked of the sides. Remember, the 5 highest ranked teams in the draw were kept apart. I'm not sure that the Nigerians particularly wanted to come up against Ghana, but then again, it could have been Egypt, it could have been the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, their neighbours to the east. Brought down by Isahaku. Comes inside onto his left foot, the shot is blocked. And Odoi's header on will run behind for the goal kick. Or will it? Well, it's not gone out of play, in fact. Denis Odoi, who was capped once by Belgium a decade ago. Now 33 years old and playing for Ghana. Augustine Nguaverne watching on. Now 56, the former Nigeria defender, a great playing career himself. It's a very quietly authoritative figure. Certainly that's the way he comes across in his dealings with the media. He was the technical director of the Nigerian Football Federation before being asked to fill in when Gernot Rohr was fired. Ola Aina with the throw. London-born right back, well, carried that ball too far forward in the eyes of the referee, and he's decided to give the ball back to Ghana. Former England youth international, Ola Aina. Gideon Mensah's throw. Forward by Partey. Felix Afena-Gyan holding the ball up with his back to goal, trying to bring teammates into play, but instead it's Nigeria looking to break here. Excellent covering by Alexander Djiku. Mensah flies into the challenge. Ola Aina looking to come away with the ball now for the visitors. Aribo. Back to Aina again. Torino defender with the cross into the middle, headed away. And a foul, surely, by Bonke Innocent. Well, the Nigerian coach watching on. This was the challenge in question. The Nigerian number 20, who is starting this evening because of the injury to Wilfred Ndidi, the Leicester City player. Innocent was not initially in the squad. Was then brought in to cover for Ndidi. Can't really be exaggerated enough, the extent to which Ndidi's absence is a blow for this Nigerian team. Idrisu Baba giving it back the way to Daniel Amarte. Now then, Mohamed Kudus wins the free kick, taken very quickly. And moved across to the left-hand side here for Mensah. Mensah's ball in, deflected on its way. It had the goalkeeper scrambling a bit. It will be a corner to the home team. And once again, listen to the roar here from the Ghanaian supporters. Well, it was a very interesting looking delivery from Mensah. A touch off the defender, taking it behind for the corner. Ghana's second of the evening. Thomas Partey and Felix Afena-Gyan among the players waiting in the middle. Jordan Ayew to take it. High ball beyond the far post, taken down by Amarte. Isahaku. Picked up by Jordan Ayew, under pressure from Osimhen. Ola Aina has done very well. Under a bit of pressure there, the Nigerian right back. Balogun preferred to Kenneth Omeruo as the partner to William Troost-Ekong in the heart of the Nigerian defence tonight. In terms of these teams' position in the world rankings, Ghana are the 7th ranked nation on the African continent. Nigeria 5th. Certainly had a better Cup of Nations, without question. The only team in the tournament to win all 3 group games. They were much fancied thereafter to go on deep into the tournament, but suffered a shock defeat against Tunisia in the last 16. At least they made it that far. Ghana were humiliated, really, in their exit in the group phase. Just 1 point, that came against Gabon. Narrowly beaten by Morocco. And then an embarrassing defeat at the hands of the Comoros, the Minnows, who were making their debut at the competition. Touched on by Mohamed Kudus. Ola Aina holding off Jordan Ayew again. Well, it's hot and sweaty on the touchline. And Otto Addo's Ghanaian team deserve credit for what they've put into this game in the first 30 minutes. Osimhen, was he caught by Mohamed Kudus? The referee allows play to continue again. The Nigerians feel it should be stopped to allow for treatment here for Osimhen. And the ball is now going to have to be put behind, and the referee will check on Victor Osimhen. Well, it looks like it's his left ankle, just above the left ankle. It was caught there as he went into the challenge. And time for some instructions to be passed on. Otto Addo now on the Ghanaian bench after the sacking of Milovan Rajavac. Had been an assistant to Rajavac, the German-born former Ghana international. Otto Addo played at the 2006 World Cup. Been working as a coach at Borussia Dortmund back in Germany, but they allowed him to come and take on the work with the Ghanaian team. There's been changes upstairs as well with the Black Stars. Chris Hughton, the London-born former Ireland player, has managed a number of leading clubs in England. Been appointed as technical director. There was a time when it looked like he would be named as the coach himself. Victor Osimhen is going to come back on. And Moses Simon returning the ball to the Ghanaian defence. Idrisu Baba giving it to Alexander Djiku. Idrisu Baba just dropping in between the 2 centre-backs as Ghana start the move. Thomas Partey in front of him. Now for Mohamed Kudus playing in that attacking midfield role in support of Felix Afena-Gyan. It's laid back by him, there's the shot! A thunderous effort from Isahaku. Turned behind by Francis Uzoho. It's the clearest chance we've had yet. Textbook play this from the Ghanaian team. Really good hold-up play once more from the young forward Felix Afena-Gyan. And the shot from the edge of the D. A thunderous hit from Abdul Fattah Isahaku. Two youngsters combining. The corner whipped in. Well, that was somewhat anticlimactic, but that certainly got the fans off their seats here in Kumasi this evening. Abdul Fattah Issahaku recently joined the Portuguese champion Sporting. Certainly talk about the old generation fading away for Ghana. The new generation is coming through. There are some really exciting young players emerging. Mohamed Kudus and Issahaku and Afena Jan are examples of that tonight. Kamaldeen Sulemana, who's had injury problems of late, is not involved. Really some superb young players that Ghana have to call upon. And Abdul Fattah Issahaku and Felix Afena Jan, both still teenagers. Mohamed Kudus is just 21. Bonki Innocent under pressure. Back to Leon Balogun. Free kick given away by Moses Simon. Foul on Dennis Odoi. Moses Simon, who has won the Belgian league title in his time. Coming up against Dennis Odoi, the former Belgian international. African World Cup qualifying taking centre stage this evening. A reminder of what happened earlier today. The Democratic Republic of Congo drawing 1-1 with Morocco in Kinshasa. Yohan Wissa had put the Leopards in front, but Tariq Tissoudali with a brilliant equaliser for the Moroccans against a home team who finished the game with 10 men. Nigeria come forward again. Ola Aina. Chukwueze on the right flank. Osimhen to aim at in the middle, headed away by Amarte. Now with William Troost-Ekong. Balogun of Rangers. Strong contingent from the Scottish Giants in the Nigerian squad, with two of them in the starting lineup, plus Calvin Bassey, who's not in the lineup this evening, the young uncapped left back, but he is on the bench. Issahaku. Drisu Baba giving it back the way, and it's collected by Aribo, looking to feed Osimhen. Angled too tight to get the shot in, but it will be Nigeria's first corner of the game. And it's going to be Moses Simon to deliver. John Wollacott hasn't yet been tested in the Ghana goal. Headed away at the edge of the 6-yard box, and the Ghanaian defence being urged to step forward up to the edge of the penalty area. Sanusi, the cross in, headed away that time by Partey. Troost-Ekong finding himself on the right wing, looking for Osimhen in the middle. Well, it was on target. It was not a powerful attempt, but it's forced a save from Wollacott. And Augustine Eguaverne, consider that a first attempt on target, really, of the evening for the Nigerian team. Half a chance, no more than that. Victor Osimhen has been in prolific goal-scoring form for Napoli. Scored twice in each of the last two Serie A games for his club. Simon cross towards Chukwueze on the right. Skips away from the challenge, but can't keep the ball in play. Just to go back to the results earlier in the day. The first legs of these playoff ties. Algeria 1-0 winners away in Cameroon. Islam Slimani with the only goal. That's a very significant result indeed for the Algerians. It was a game played in Douala, where their defence of the Cup of Nations title floundered so badly in January. And they'll be very strong favourites now to progress as they host the second leg. Tunisia 1-0 winners in Mali as well. A Moussa Sissoko own goal. And he was sent off not long after that, and the Tunisians in a strong position as well. Mali looking to get to their very first World Cup. It's going to be a big challenge for them in the second leg. Jordan Ayew once more wins the free kick. This time, no, gives away the free kick. Well, Nigeria have formidable attacking quality. We haven't seen too much of their front four yet, really. Joe Wollacott hasn't been overly troubled in this first half. Falls to Osimhen though. Osimhen's shot came off a Ghanaian defender and is collected by Wollacott. Swindon Town goalkeeper, born in England. Broken into the Ghana squad for this World Cup qualifying campaign. Gideon Mensah. It's a dangerous ball given away. And a foul on Bonke Innocent by Jordan Ayew. Iheanacho back away to Balogun. Nigeria at a 10 really at the moment. Bonke Innocent eventually back on his feet. Ola Aina forward into the path of Aribo, who's made a terrific run into the penalty box. Aribo over the bar. Well, that's what he can do coming from central midfield. Look at that run in between it, Djiku and the left back Mensah. There was a huge gap for him to exploit there. Just couldn't keep the shot down. Joe Aribo, born in London. Part of the diaspora. Strong connections, of course. As Nigerians in the UK. Osimhen losing out to the Premier League-based Daniel Amarte. Gideon Mensah holding off Chukwueze. Substitutes warming up. It's the Ghana substitutes we saw there. They've got themselves a free kick, and Nigeria have certainly weathered the early storm here. Looking to finish the first half on top now. And really confirm why they were the favourites coming into this tie. So much riding on it. The 50th meeting of these nations. They are not direct neighbours in West Africa, but that ball hanging high into the penalty box, collected by Francis Uzoho. They are great rivals for political reasons as well as footballing reasons. Culinary reasons too, admittedly, with the references to the Jollof Derby, which is a delicious dish, but it's up to you to decide whether you prefer the Ghanaian or the Nigerian version. Let's not get into that now. Other countries might stake a claim as well, of course. First meeting of these nations in a World Cup qualifier since 2001. Joe Aribo into the penalty box. Moses Simon holds it up, and it's an awkward one for Wollacott, but he collects it. And the Super Eagles certainly finishing strongly in this first half here. Mentioned that last meeting of the nations in a World Cup qualifier. Nigeria won that one by 3-0 in qualifying for the 2002 tournament. They topped their qualifying group. Ghana came 4th out of 5 teams. A couple of goals from Tijani Babangida in that particular match. On the whole, Ghana have a clear edge in head-to-head meetings of the teams, but for a long time Nigeria were the stronger of the sides. Had that great record at getting to World Cups over the last 25 years or so. Ghana have been there a few times as well, though. Chukwueze. Gideon Mensah. Back the way to Jiku. Every outfield player now in the Nigerian half of the field. Now then. One or two muted appeals for a foul from the Ghana supporters here. They're shouting for everything this evening. Osimhen. Keenly trying to win that ball back up against Dennis Odoi. Partey. Excellent ball forward from him towards Afena-Gyan, and a really important piece of covering from William Troost-Ekong. Well, he's a very raw young striker, Felix Afena-Gyan, but he looks very useful indeed out there on the field this evening. The age of just 19, remember. Francis Uzoho has already had to make one really important save in this first half as the corner's played short. Kudus holds it up towards the back post. Header away was by Balogun. It's been an absorbing game in the first 45 minutes here. We're into stoppage time now. Always sensed that it was likely to be a tight affair tonight, and decided in the return. That's what's going to happen in all of these playoff ties, I think. We're into 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. By the way, the other playoff tie to complete the CAF lineup this evening, of course, Egypt-Senegal. Egypt in the lead in that repeat of the AFCON final, leading by 1-0. Cross comes Balogun to cover. Just winding down towards the interval now here in Kumasi this evening. The Nigerians be happy to come through this game unscathed tonight. It's always going to be a trip laced with potential pitfalls for them. You may have seen the footage of the team arriving, getting off their plane here the other day, and the landing ramp was so low down that the players had to jump or hop off the plane itself. Not the most comfortable of arrivals on Ghanaian soil for them. Talk of mind games. Bonke Innocent with potentially dangerous ball out from the back, but that is the final act of the first half here. There is no breakthrough yet in Kumasi in this decisive playoff tie between these great West African rivals. Ghana have come closest to scoring, but for now it is Ghana 0, Nigeria 0. Huddles from both teams before they make their way off the pitch here. Plenty for the huge crowd in this stadium tonight to get stuck into at the interval, but all to play for in the second half. So, well, Ghana certainly on top in terms of possession, more than 62% in their favour, but in terms of shots on goal, 3 attempts from the home team, 4 for the Super Eagles, and just 1 attempt on target apiece. Ghana have had more of the corners too, but Nigeria settling as the first half went on, and they'll be pretty pleased with the way things are looking for them now at the break. Welcome back then to Kumasi. The Nigerian players making their way back out onto the pitch, followed by the home team, goalless here at the interval in this huge crunch World Cup playoff tie. We are just a week away from the draw for this year's World Cup in Qatar, the event in Doha. And at the beginning of today, there were still 13 places to be decided in the World Cup come the end of the year. All 5 African places up for grabs in these next few days, of course. There are playoffs in Europe as well to decide the last 3 places there. There are a couple of intercontinental playoffs to come, and the 3 automatic qualifying berths from the CONCACAF zone will be decided in the coming days as well. The drama here in Africa, across the continent, is something to behold. After the group phase, remember the 10 group winners advancing to these decisive playoff ties. And all will be decided in Abuja on Tuesday. The Nigerians looking to come away with the advantage tonight going into that game. We're underway again then. Here in Kumasi this evening, this sellout crowd roaring the Ghanaian team on. They had more of the possession in the first half. They certainly had the clearest chance to get the goal, that terrific strike from the exciting young winger Abdul Fattah Issahaku, saved by Francis Uzoho, and it remains 0-0 here. There is unquestionably enormous firepower in the Nigerian ranks, but for the moment they've done more of the defending as Kudus moves the ball across to the far side. Jordan Ayew is in the middle now. That shot deflected on its way through. It's going to be a Ghanaian corner to start off the second half here. The fans on their feet again. This 40,000 seat stadium, which is absolutely jam-packed this evening. Issahaku among the players waiting in the middle. Jordan Ayew to deliver. In swinging corner, turned away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Aribo, returned by Dennis Odoi. The hanging cross. Now then, the referee has given offside. Thomas Partey claiming, I think, that it was a foul on him, and the Ghanaian fans are shouting for everything this evening. Very difficult for Redouane Gied, the Moroccan official, to block out the noise from the home supporters here. And we have video assistant referees ready to help out if needed. It's Odoi's hanging cross. Partey threw himself at it. Here's Alexander Djiku. Amarte. Comes to Gideon Mensah on the left, the Bordeaux player. Afena again doing the hold-up work in the penalty box, and Ghana have themselves another corner. Francis Uzoho brought into the Nigerian team this evening, remember, because Maduka Okoye is out due to illness. Jordan Ayew to swing it in again. Ghana's second corner of this second half, but straight into the arms of the giant Uzoho. These days plays his club football in Cyprus with Omonia Nicosia. He was in Spain as a youngster with Deportivo. Aribo. Moses Simon on the left. Loves to cut inside onto his right foot, does Simon. Header down by Chukwueze and away by Jiku. He could perhaps have left that for his goalkeeper. Well, Ghana had gone 15 years without beating Nigeria until a 4-1 friendly win in February 2007. Nigeria have not beaten Ghana since, the 15 years in between. Recent history is in the Black Stars' favour. Overall, Ghana's record against Nigeria has been good. That campaign to qualify for the 2002 World Cup, certainly an exception. The Nigerians were the better team back then. Ghana need to make home advantage count tonight. So, with the free kick, the long ball downfield. I think Ghanaian fans are pretty satisfied with the way the game is going at the moment, but can do with the goal. And Otto Addo's team lacking maybe a bit of punch in the final third. Foul on Osimhen by Dennis Odoi. Ola Aina up against Jordan Ayew, who's helping out defensively here. Heads off on the run. Felix Afena-Gyan again. Understandably, lots of excitement about the 19-year-old. Only made his senior debut for Roma back in October. Getting his big break tonight up front for the home team. Here come Nigeria. Slack ball that from Kelechi Iheanacho. Free kick given. Feverish atmosphere in Kumasi this evening at the Baba Yara Stadium. Sold out in advance of kick-off. There will be a big crowd in the Nigerian capital, Abuja, for the second leg as well, that's for sure. Uzoho comes to collect. Played one game at the Cup of Nations, given his chance in the last group match against Guinea-Bissau when Nigeria had already wrapped up qualification for the last 16 as winners of their group. There was real optimism amongst Nigerian fans, understandably, with the way their Cup of Nations campaign was going. They were playing group matches in Garoua, up in the north of Cameroon, just across the border from Nigeria. They were looking really good indeed, and then Tunisia did a number on them in that last 16 tie. Tunisian team who'd struggled to get through their group, who were ravaged by COVID cases. It's put behind by the defender for a throw-in. Iheanacho, ball into the middle. Osimhen threw himself to the ground looking for something. And again, the referee not giving anything. Idrissou Baba giving it to Amarte. Certainly, if you did it purely in terms of population, Nigeria would be expected to win. Africa's most populous country, a country of more than 200 million people, of course. Here they come. Moses Simon with the touch. Moses Simon with the shot. Saved by Wollacott. It's the best chance that Nigeria have had yet. And Wollacott standing up to the shot from Moses Simon. Trostekong, big switch of play to the far side. Nigeria getting ready to make changes, but here they come again with Simon. Back to Sanusi. Frank Onyeka and Emmanuel Dennis are getting ready to come on here, a midfielder and a striker. I wonder if Bonki Innocent might be one of those to come off, possibly Iheanacho as well. Depends if the Super Eagles are considering perhaps any kind of change in formation. Ghana not pressing at the moment. And Nigeria on the offensive again. Chukwueze losing out to Jiku. Good defending again from the French-born centre-back, and this is a good spell of play from the Nigerian team, you have to say. Hopefully get a look at that chance again for the visitors. The referee signalling to the touchline, and Nigeria will be able to make the changes now. Moses Simon had that opportunity. He's having a fine season in the French top flight for Nantes. Loves to cut inside from the left flank and score goals or set up goals on his right foot. Well, it was nearly a goal for Nigeria there. They have got a problem now because the stretcher is on, and I wonder if that might affect the changes that were being planned or not. Frank Onyeka is the number 4, and Emmanuel Dennis the number 21. This was a chance for Chukwueze, the flag eventually coming up against him, and then collision in midfield, waiting for the changes to be made. Nigeria, remember, seeing Wilfred Ndidi drop out of their squad after he suffered a nasty injury playing for Leicester City. Emmanuel Dennis is on. Moses Simon making way for him, and it's Joe Aribo who makes way here for Frank Onyeka, the Brentford midfielder, to come on. Perhaps a slightly less adventurous midfield player than Aribo. He will sit alongside Bonki Innocent in the heart of the pitch. It may just be recognition from Augustine Guavon that Ghana have had the better of this game up to now. It's a long way to go in this tie, though. Jordan Ayew back the way to Partey, could certainly hit the ball from range. That one was deflected on its way through. Well, Thomas Partey scored important goals for Ghana. A couple of them against Zimbabwe in the home and away matches in the group stage of the campaign. As Mohamed Kudus prepares to take the corner, see the shot again from Partey. Thunderous shot, but the impression it was always rising regardless of the touch that it took on its way through. Now then, Bonke Innocent needing a stretcher here. Well, they brought the colour and the noise here tonight, the Ghanaian supporters. Down in the Ghana technical area, they're maybe thinking about a change themselves. It's Innocent who is being taken off the pitch. Absolutely packed here tonight, including in the VIP seats. Another Ghana corner. Nigeria temporarily down to 10 men. Corner is wasted, and that ball has gone behind. Well, a bit of concern here for the Nigerian team. They are looking across to see if the change will be made. Victor Osimhen is making a gesture for the substitution. Just made the change in midfield, and they're going to have to make another one. Sanusi's throw. Osimhen got the touch, and there was a handball there, and it's going to be the first card of the evening. Alexander Djiku is making the point that it is his first infringement, but the referee deciding it was a deliberate handball. And a deliberate attempt to stop the progress of Victor Osimhen. It's a yellow card for the Strasbourg player. Has been a very good addition to this Ghana setup, has Alexander Djiku. These Nigerian players in the wars. Victor Osimhen is taking his time before getting back up to his feet here. They've certainly got the attacking quality. Osimhen hoping to continue. He's going to get a bit of treatment, which amounts to a quick drink of water, nothing else. And the physio has been told to get off the pitch on the other side so we can get on with the action here. It's a Nigeria free kick. Bonke Innocent is not going to be able to continue as that free kick was flighted into the box. He's already got the ice pack on his right groin. And now then, is that a foul by Balogun? On Afena-Gyan. Leon Balogun, the German-born central defender. Didn't go to the Cup of Nations, but preferred this evening to Kenneth Omeruo in the heart of that Nigerian defence. Defensive solidity, so important for these teams at this stage in the qualifying campaign. So little margin for error. Jordan Ayew being instructed to take the ball back to the exact scene of the crime. Francis Uzoho made that one key save in the first half, but not much to do really of note since then, apart from claim a few high balls into the box. And once again, the set piece is wasted by the Ghanaian team. And Ayew will not keep that in play, and they're getting a little bit restless in the stands here in Kumasi. They're not going to be too pleased if the Black Stars fail to qualify for the World Cup. And it's such a big ask of them. Ghana, 4 times African champions, albeit not since 1982. Nigeria 3 times. Nigeria have had more of a presence at the World Cup in the last 30 years, but of course Ghana had that magnificent run to the last 8 in South Africa. As good as any African nation has ever done at the World Cup which is going to be expanded, remember, for the 2026 edition. That means more places for African teams, mercifully. Mensah, back it comes to Ayew, but the offside flag was up against Abdul Fattah Isahaku. And there is Felix Afena-Gyan. Ayew again, driving forward, and the shot is always rising on its way over the bar. Well, how much are they missing Andre Ayew? Jordan Ayew, the younger of the two brothers, doesn't quite have the same goal threat, the same leadership. He's a very important player. But they would love to have had Andre Ayew here as well. And the other experienced players who are missing. Baba Rahman, remember, sidelined. Kamaldeen Sulemana, one of that new young generation, really exciting prospect on the wing, not involved either. Iheanacho. It's been brought back for the free kick. And this is in a threatening position for the Nigerian team. Joe Wollacott made that big save from Moses Simon earlier. Midway through the second half now. Iheanacho standing over this. His strike deflected off the top of the wall. Just the second corner for the away team. Big men are forward, Balogun and Trustekong in there. Iheanacho's deliveries beyond everybody. Still we await the breakthrough here. Strong play from Afena-Gyan. It's lifted the crowd again. And the free kick is given against Balogun, right in front of the assistant referee on that far side. Well, he's claiming that there was nothing in it. Leon Balogun, the Rangers player. It's a set-piece opportunity for Ghana. And getting ready to make their first change. We're going to see Osman Bukari. Fresh legs in the attack for the home team. Just looking for that one goal that would give them the edge ahead of the second leg. Two men in the wall here for Nigeria. Iheanacho and Dennis. High delivery. Still alive. Isaku taking on Ola Aina, has done really well. Cut that ball back and it was fizzed across goal. And none of the Ghanaian players in the middle able to make anything of it. Andre Ayew is here this evening. Not on the pitch, the suspended star of the Black Stars, the man whose penalty against South Africa took them to this stage of the qualifying campaign. An overhit corner. Back it comes to Idrisu Baba. Isahaku. Across to Dennis Odoi. Ahmed Kudus. Great footwork from the youngster. Bursts into the box, the shot and goal. Turn behind by Uzoho. Andre Ayew up out of his seat along with just about everybody in the stadium here. Ghana's best chance of the second half. Well, if there were a roof around the stadium, it would come off if a goal was scored, but for the moment, Ghana fans having to contain themselves as that ball just escapes. Afena Gyan at the back post. He just peeled away from the far post. He was unmarked, completely unmarked there. Couldn't make anything of it. Well, now the camera has spotted Andre Ayew. He's been soaked, I think, by somebody throwing a drink. We're going to see a lot more of him in the final 20 minutes of this game. 3 goals in the group phase for Andre Ayew. Damaging red card against the Comoros in that highly damaging final game at the Cup of Nations for them. Long ball forward. It runs through to Uzoho. Well, Nigeria getting ready to make more changes here, just to clear things up from earlier. And we'll see the changes first. Victor Osimhen still on the field. Play raging at the moment. It's collected by Uzoho. Nigeria ready to make another double substitution. Came up earlier to say that Moses Simon was the player who had gone off when Emmanuel Dennis came on. Simon still on the field. On the right-hand side now with Dennis on the left. Iheanacho behind Osimhen up front. It was Chukwueze who made way. Now they will make those changes. They're watching on in the VIP seats nervously. Moses Simon is now going to come off. Well, he's put in a good shift tonight. He had that terrific chance, Nigeria's best chance of the game, really. And it's Ademola Lookman who will replace him now then. Another one of the Leicester City contingent coming onto the field. Lookman called up for the first time, the former England youth international. Fresh legs in the attack, and we're going to see Calvin Bassey as well on at left back in place of Zaidu Sanusi. Calvin Bassey, another one of the Rangers contingent. They've certainly made the changes, in contrast to the Ghanaian team. For the moment, kept their cards close to their chest. Ola Aina, the ball inside, laid back by Iheanacho. Dennis on the left. Here goes Afena Jan. A terrific tackle. Excellent defending from Balogun. And they've all put in terrific shifts this evening. We are heading towards tense final 15 minutes here, looking for the breakthrough goal, which would give one of these teams the edge heading into the return. It's going to be a quick turnaround. The Nigerians are due to jet off immediately back home. Sense that these are neighbours, these countries, because of the rivalry, because they have so much in common, but of course they're not. Togo and Benin in between. Bit of pressure here now then. This could be trouble. It's a penalty. A handball by Idrisu Baba as he went to ground. The referee in no doubt whatsoever. And Nigeria have a spot kick in the 76th minute of this tense first leg. He's playing his way into trouble with Kelechi Iheanacho and Etebo in close proximity. Then he went to ground. And there can't be much doubt about that one. Of course, the referee is in touch with the VAR, and he's going to come across to have a look at this. Just wonder if the question might be if he was perhaps pushed to the ground. Drama. This is the incident. Was he fouled there? And the referee is convinced that he was. And his ankle taken away from him by Kelechi Iheanacho. And the decision has been overturned. And it's a free kick to Ghana. And the appeal from Etebo is dramatic. Well, he's been booked for dissent. Well, when you see the replay of it, the referee in no doubt whatsoever. And the Nigerian fans are livid. Of course, they haven't seen the replay. And that's given the home fans another lift here. Isahaku taking on Bassey. Now they're appealing for a penalty. Well, now it's time for Ghana to make that change, which has been in the offing for a good few minutes. Abdul Fattah Isahaku making his way off. A very lively performance from him. And Osman Boukari currently playing as a teammate of Moses Simon at Nantes in France. He makes his way onto the field. Well, it was an incident which underlined the value of VAR. Perhaps the referee, any referee this applies to, can feel more of a freedom to award the penalty. The knowledge that it can be overturned if need be. Certainly it was a handball by Idrissou Baba. Certainly he played himself into trouble. Certainly there was a trip on him by Kelechi Iheanacho. And the referee was quite right to give priority to. Afena-Gyan, he's just forgotten to take that ball with him. He's put in a terrific shift this evening, but that ball has stayed in play. And now Afena-Gyan has gone down and is going to require some treatment here. And that ball turned behind by Troost-Ekong. Did just about stay in play. William Troost-Ekong of Watford. This is a case of severe cramp in both legs, I think, for the young Ghanaian striker, heading towards the final 10 minutes here. Tell you, by the way, that Egypt still leading Senegal by single goal to nil, an own goal by Saliou Cisse in the early stages of that game. Cisse had a terrific Cup of Nations. Idrissou Baba taking the pass, needed to have his body at an angle really to receive that pass under pressure. Immediately getting himself into trouble, and he got away with one. Felix Afena-Gyan still receiving treatment, and Ghana still down to 10, and we're going to see another change in a moment. I think it's Daniel Kofi Kere, the number 8, who will come on. Very much an attack-minded midfield player. And Dennis is fouled now. Referee will allow the change to be made first. Felix Afena-Gyan will not continue, and Daniel Kofi Kere will take his place. Can't play up front. He's done very well for St. Pauli in the German second tier this season as Kere. As Osimhen goes to ground again in the penalty box. Still that feverish atmosphere in the stadium here. Ola Aina giving it to Dennis. Yes, just to clear up the Nigerian substitutes, we didn't actually show you the change that was made. Bonki Innocent unable to continue, and Ogene Karowe Tibo took his place. Coming into the centre of that Nigerian midfield. The on-loan Watford player in the English Premier League. Means that Nigeria have made their 5 changes. Ghana just the 2. Here is Emmanuel Dennis. Picked up by Mensah. Kere. Mensah continues his run. And Jordan Ayew will give chase here. Cleared away by the goalkeeper. Kere again. Does look like Ayew is going to occupy that central striker's role, and Kere will play on the left in the closing stages here. Now then, Ademola Lookman going to the ground. conceding the free kick. Play on. Still Ghana coming. And Bassi doing well. Itebo back the way to Trustekong. Balogun. Bassi making the striding run forward down from left back. He's been a bit of a revelation in his time at Rangers. A regular for the Scottish champions. Now competing with Saidou Sanusi for the left back berth in this Super Eagles team. Free kick given for the challenge on Ola Aina by Kere. Daniel Kofi Kere, born in Germany. And doing very well for St. Pauli, who are top of the German Bundesliga 2, the other club from Hamburg, currently the leading club from the city of Hamburg. We are at the stage in the game now where it's all about making sure you don't make any silly mistakes. Neither team wants to concede in the final few minutes here. Augustine Eguavoen's team have been solid enough defensively and just haven't offered as much as you might expect in the final third for all the quality they have. When you look at their lineup with Simon and Chukwueze on the wings and Osimhen and Iheanacho through the middle. Joe Aribo making the runs forward from central midfield. There is a lot of quality in there. The shot is deflected. Ola Aina holding off Kere. He's told to get up this time by the Moroccan referee, which he does. Mensah. Partey trying the shot, which is blocked that time by Onyeka. We're in the 87th minute here in Kumasi. Calvin Bassey making the run and hurting himself in the process, and still fans not just on the edge of their seats, they're all around us standing. The tension is palpable. All desperate to celebrate a Ghanaian goal, that's for sure, except for the small band of Nigerian fans, of course. Forward by Trustekong. Osimhen doing well, but waiting for the support to come from Lookman. Daniel Amarte looking very comfortable indeed as Ghana come forward now with Bukari. Osman Bukari's got Jordan Ayew and Kere in the middle. He cuts it back to nobody in particular. Kere. Gideon Mensah making the run forward in support. And all credit to Emmanuel Dennis for getting there to cover. Player who was missed at the Cup of Nations, like Osimhen, Emmanuel Dennis, not because of his tracking back, but that's what he showcased there, as we see the opportunity squandered really by Osman Bukari. Hasn't been a regular in the Nantes team this season. do feel that there is greater strength and depth in the Nigerian squad, and even without a key player like Wilfred Ndidi, they have enough quality in central midfield to cover. I'm not sure you can say the same with the Ghanaian team if you take Andre Ayew out of it. Kamaldeen Sulemana, okay, there are other exciting young wide attacking players who can fill in for him, and maybe they can survive without him, but without Andre Ayew, it is that bit harder. Defensively, though, they've been pretty solid. Djiku and Amarte in the heart of that back four, looking very good indeed, and certainly a world away from their very disappointing Cup of Nations campaign. A 3-2 defeat against the Comoros. Jordan Ayew. Forgets to take the ball with him. He could do with some support here. The 90 minutes are almost up. There should be a good 3 minutes of added time at least. Ayew trying to chip it to the back post, I think, rather than going for goal himself. And Francis Uzoho not in a hurry to release that ball. There will be 4 added minutes then. And the ball played through, looking for the run from the right-hand side. Bukari on that flank. Put on the fresh legs. Ghana, they have knocked at the door. Really just one outstanding chance in each half. Isahaku in the first half, Kudus in the second. The goalkeeper making a save on each occasion. Ghana will make another change. Looks like we're going to see Kwasi Vrit coming on, the German-born striker. Will take the place of Jordan Ayew. Cheers around the ground. Now, I'm not sure if that's cheers aimed at Ayew or at the decision to take him off. Kwasi Vrit comes on, just his 4th cap, the Germany-born striker. These days playing for Holstein Kiel, former Bayern Munich player. Brother of Jordan Ayew watching on, Andre Ayew. How they could have done with him here tonight on the pitch. Still some time left. Is it going to be a 0-0 stalemate? Nigeria have gone a long time without beating the Black Stars. Osimhen and Dennis going for the same ball. Oh, brilliant bit of play from Onyeka. And Djiku taking that ball full on the head. Well, let's see this one again. Brilliant turn by Onyeka, and Djiku felt the full force of that ball. It's going to be another meeting of these teams without a Nigerian victory. Have to go back to 2006 to find the last time. But Nigeria looking like they're going to be in a strong position heading into the second leg of this tie. That's the key thing. Carries past beyond the reach of Farid, the number 17. The 4 minutes of stoppage time are nearly up. The fans are now flooding towards the exits here in Kumasi. And it's going to end in a goalless stalemate. These fierce West African rivals will leave everything down to the second leg in Abuja in a few days' time. The Nigerian fans seem pretty happy, a bit more straight-faced, the Ghanaian supporters. It's been an absorbing contest, a really hard-fought affair. Not too many clear chances, though. And all to play for in the second leg in Abuja on Tuesday. It ends here tonight in Kumasi in the first leg of this decisive World Cup qualifying playoff. Ghana 0, Nigeria 0. A low-scoring evening across the continent in these World Cup qualifying playoffs. It was probably always going to be that way. Nobody has scored more than a single goal. This is the only match to end goalless. It's been really hard fought. Alexander Djiku felt the full effects of that ball, and he took full in the head right at the end of the game. It was a strong defensive display from him and his centre-back partner Daniel Amarte. Nigeria have real quality in the final third, but they were not really able to express it tonight. That chance for Moses Simon early in the second half, as close as they came. The only time that Joe Wollacott in goal for Ghana was really troubled. And at the other end, one big chance in each half, I think, pretty much sums it up for the Ghanaians. Isahaku in the first half, Mohamed Kudus, the Ajax starlet, in the second half, but that was about it. Ghana really missing Andre Ayew. That has to be said. Suspended after his red card in the last game of that disastrous Cup of Nations campaign. They're trying to restore confidence in the national team after that disappointing campaign in Cameroon. Otto Addo currently in charge of the team. The aim is to take the Black Stars to the World Cup. And they are still on course, but it is anybody's guess as to who will be there in the draw in Doha in a week's time out of these two nations. These are the final statistics here in Kumasi tonight. Ghana ending with more of the possession, 56%. They had more shots as well, 10-7. 2 attempts on target apiece, though. 9 corners for Ghana to 2 for the Nigerians, but ultimately Ghana could not break down the Nigerian door, and it will all be decided in a few days' time in Abuja.